Doug Lehman, breaking it down in layman's terms, the best advice or the worst advice? Listen to your haters.
Welcome to the Inside Sales Show, hosted by Phil Gerbyshak. Each episode will take you behind the scenes with a sales expert or a sales practitioner and go inside the nuances you need to be successful today in sales and sales leadership. We'll have conversations about the mindset, skill set, and tool set of highly successful sales professionals, offer insights into prospecting, qualifying, following up, closing sales for inside sales professionals, and hiring, firing, motivation, and rewarding your team for inside sales leaders. And we will find out what's working and what's not working for inside sales pros right now. And now, here's your host of the Inside Sales Show, sales speaker, sales trainer, and pinball wizard, Phil Gerbyshak.
Hey, so what's up, everyone? So glad that you're here. Hey, today, we get to talk with Doug Lehman. He's the founder of Layman's Terms. He's got a true passion for leveraging sales and digital media content to grow business and improve client retention. He specializes in the art of, get this, story selling. He works with sales professionals, service trainers, speakers, authors, business owners, all sorts of folks, producing personalized training videos, interviews, testimonials, and event video spotlights. But it's not like Doug's some crazy marketer. He's got over 25 years sales experience working with companies like IBM, Sun, Microsystems, Coca-Cola, Cisco, and has closed sales of the enterprise, the SMB, and the consumer market. He's developed a thorough understanding of the sales process and how to market it visually. In layman's terms, that's virtual selling video. He's my guest today. What's up, Doug? It's good to see you, man.
Hey, Phil, thanks for the introduction. You read it perfectly. I appreciate that.
Hey, absolutely. Well, give me good stuff I can read, right?
Right. Reading's fundamental. No, I'm glad to be back. I know we've had a lot of dialogue over the years, and it's awesome to have a conversation with my main man, Phil. And you're coming to Atlanta next month, so I'm excited about that as well.
Yeah, we finally get to meet up in person, which I'm super, super excited about, man. So, Doug, 25 years, man, I'm guessing you probably weren't selling via video then, huh? Tell me about how sales used to be.
Back in the day, so that dates me because I'm in my 50s, early 50s. We'll just call it that. Got the job out of college, the degree in marketing. And then the pivot with video really came right around 2012. Got a nice severance package with one of those companies that you named on that list. And decided just to go out on my own. And I added video to my website, and more people paid attention to my video than wanting to hire Doug as a sales trainer or a consultant. So I'm like, and when you're on the bench for a while, like, well, heck, people are asking for it. It's a need. It became a demand. And I kind of morphed into leveraging video to sell. So, give or take, played around for about 8 years. The last 4 years have been profitable. So, the entrepreneur journey, but always been a salesman at heart. And I get salespeople. And that's why I work with salespeople primarily.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah, you definitely get salespeople and video for sure. So let's talk about that video, Doug, because so many people, I think, get it wrong. They think, oh, video is this. And I think video is a lot of things, but it's not any one thing. So take me through starting out. Give me one type of video, Doug, and break it down for us in layman's terms.
Okay. And what I like to say is you can use, like you just said, you can use video everywhere, but I like to call the outreach video where you're trying to get in front of a client for the first time. And you've got an opportunity to do it because we're living in a virtual world. So you've got an opportunity. Let's say I want to get in touch with Phil. And let's say Phil was the author of, and this isn't Phil, but the Laws of Brand Storytelling. So I'm trying to get in touch with Ekaterina Water. That's the author of the book. So idea of reaching out to her through video and showing a visual element to get her attention, personalizing it just for better engagement. We can't go face to face, especially as much now. So it's an outreach video trying to make content like in sales, a prospecting call or a series of proactive calls, an initial outreach video. And that's just one type of video that you can do throughout the whole sales process as well as the buyer's journey.
I love that. You mentioned two things there. One, the personalized. You're not sending the same video to everybody. And two, it's to make real contact with someone, just like you'd prospect, not just for fun. So I think that's really instructive, and that breaks it down for us really well, Doug. So what have you seen, though, that goes wrong in some of these prospecting videos? Because I got to tell you, man, I've seen some really awful ones. So what have you seen?
Well, it used to be a few years ago that video was kind of a unique thing. And now we're so saturated with video. So up the level of your message. Your messaging matters in the video. And let's face it, automation. There's a lot of tools out there to automate videos that are scripts, just like you get in your email inbox every day. Automated video with no purpose, no distinct call to action, or no personalization. It comes across as cheesy, and it comes across as just very transparent. So you get in those videos where, hi, Phil, and it goes into a pitch. That message to Phil could be, I'm using the Wave because there's a company that does the extension of the Wave. That message could be to Phil, that could be to Betty, that could be to Sue, it could be to anybody. So lack of personalization, because people have to invest in time to watch your video. And if they don't, they'll point, click, and won't watch it. And that's the key, getting their attention, personalizing that message.
Yeah, I so agree with that, right? I mean, I think a wave is okay. That's cool, right? If that's what you do, whatever your energy is, but then be real. Like spend the 35, 40 seconds it takes to do a real video, get practiced at it. It doesn't take that long to do it all. But Doug, I know that you're all about impact. I know it's not just about creating video for fun. So let's talk about what that impact is in the video and how that actually helps the people that you've worked with.
I think the impact is, first of all, getting their attention, but you're in an element right now with video is that just the talking head video is one thing, but the impact of showing somebody visually. If you're not using anything visually in the video, and that's, I think we're going to make the pivot, more visual elements, because if not, just send them an audio message or send them text, because what's the point? You're not using video to its fullest. It's a visual media. Like I pulled up this book, again, The Laws of, Brand Storytelling, right? That's a visual element for me to leverage to get in front of an author. If not, I could just send her a voicemail and put my ugly picture on there and let it go. So I'm thinking we're not tapping video to its fullest right now.
Yeah, for sure. So just talking head, right, you might be missing the boat. So showing something relevant, something about them, something they care about. I know that, sometimes it may be that you go to their website, right? If you're selling website reviews or you're talking about them, hey, I noticed this here. I know that I sent one yesterday where I went to, one of my prospects' websites, and I noticed that they had one of their buttons, one of their big calls to action spelled wrong. It's like, hey, send them a quick video, and I highlighted it in the video and sent it. Hey, I just want to let you know, right here, 20 seconds. Here's what's going on, and I thought you might want to know. Send it over. They changed it. Super happy about that. So not difficult at all.
And something you mentioned about that call to action or the timestamp you gave, that's another thing that people don't do with video with wrong is they don't give the person complementing the text with the video, using all forms of text, audio, and video. They all work together, multi-channel approach. And what I'm saying is in that video thumbnail, have a sentence or some bullet points how long the video is, because watching video is an investment in their time. If they don't want to watch it, give them like, okay, it's 1 minute and 35 seconds. They don't want to watch it for 35 seconds. Then you've got to go another approach. So you've got to let them know, because unlike audio, you can multitask. You can do it on the treadmill. You can do it while you're cooking. But video, I got to sit there and got to watch it. I got to social watch.
Yeah, I got to pay attention, right? I can't multitask you. So with that, right? So Crystal Thief says, I got 2 lame LinkedIn birthday messages that were sent to everyone, more than an advertisement of them, instead of a heartfelt birthday. And I would tell you, if you're going to do that, don't even send it. Like that's such a waste of time and such a waste of an opportunity to actually make an impact with people. So Doug, when I know that, you talk about, length, super important, but you also talk about that personalization, which you brought up. So give me a couple more examples, if you will, Doug, about some of those personalized business videos that we can use to really leverage our skills and build a relationship.
Well, first of all, if you're trying to get in front of a client for the first or second time and you personalize it, there might be a good idea to do a screen capture of their website or take a look at their information. Vidyard has a great tool, allows you to do video messaging, and you can do a screen capture while you're talking. So you want to get their attention. It's all about getting attention. There's been a lot of talk about call to actions and having that, but if you don't intrigue them or give them any value up front, the call to actions, whatever, they're probably going to disown it. But have something personalized in it and use the visual elements around you. I look at your LinkedIn profile and I say, hey, I noticed that Phil's got some videos. Now, a service that I do is I'm a remote video editor, so I can take your podcast or your video show and chop it down into small segments. Being able to look for those features. It's like in social selling, looking for those trigger points. Do your research. I like to use the word social watching. Watch their content and then use that as part of your message, not your pitch, but your message.
Wow. That's so good, right? That social watching, so important. So many things watching is just video, but it's paying attention.
Right.
What are people posting? What are they talking about? What interactions have they made? And then capturing that and using that in the messaging. So many don't, right? I mean, if somebody likes my post, well, heck, I'm going to mention that. Hey, Doug, I noticed you liked my post. I mean, it just brings it back, and it's clear then that you're paying attention, not, and not asking stupid discovery questions that don't really help anybody. I mean, if I can find it out in your LinkedIn profile, unless I'm making sure to validate, hey, Doug, you've been doing this for 26 years. Is that right? Or did you just forget to end that position? Well, that's valid. Right. But most of the time, right, you got to do that. So talk to me, Doug, some more about how we can actually, how we can build a relationship, right? We talked about the first one, right? That prospecting message. But okay, we're friends now. I got to know you a little bit, right? I like you. We haven't done business. But now, how do we use that to go deeper, Doug? How do we get more personal and go deeper?
Oh, I love that, because we talked a little bit about the initial call, the prospect video, but video, I like to say, is a communication process across the whole buyer's and seller's journey. So let's talk about the follow-up video. I haven't talked to you in a while video. I need to talk to you in a while message. So I'm going to send a video just to stay on your radar. But an area in sales that people really don't pay attention to enough is post-sales video content. Hey, Phil, you're a business, you're a client of mine. Hey, just wanted to reach out to you. We've got a new product, a new service that might be some value to you. So, and then actually testimonial videos and having your clients do videos on your behalf is even more powerful. But we tend to look at prospecting videos all the time. But like you said, you can do videos, customer follow-ups, or video proposals going over a product or service. It's a whole nother way. So I like to say, use video, keep it 100, and use video throughout the entire sales journey. Be creative. Think about where you can use video, where you don't want to use video. In other words, I think that video is a communication tool across all platforms, leveraging it with text and audio. So follow-up videos are great. News initiatives, subject matter expertise that you can provide for your client, and client engagement.
Wow. Lots of stuff there. I love that last point you made, though, about use video where you don't think you can, right? Where you think maybe it doesn't fit in, and try to make that happen. Because I think all too often we just think of prospect, relationship, closed, done. Okay, that's it. But I love what you said there about the possible upsell or the cross sell, right? Now, hey, Doug, I did this for you. Were you aware that I also do this?
Right.
Hey, here's an opportunity, right, to move that around. I think that's really, really good. Now, here's a question that we have here. Jonathan Otero says, so should you use video as a first touch point, or should you use it as follow-up? And I would ask, or should you use it for all points, Doug? How do we know when to use it?
I don't want to overkill it, but and to answer your question, I think first touch points, but here's the play in it. You're going to reach, however you reach out to the client, whether it's the phone, text, social, they all play well together. So you may want to send a video to them and then follow up with a phone call saying, hey, John, I sent you a video at 3:13 on a Friday. Just wanted to make sure it didn't go to your spam filter. So you're tagging it up because you want to get their attention. So think about leveraging video, not as a separate thing, but as part of the outreach process. I'm not necessarily answering your question, but yeah, from the initial stage to the follow-up stage, but text, email, social, they all come into play. They all work together. And I like to think that video is your lead actor, because I'm a proponent of it, and text and audio are like your supporting cast. You're still doing a production, but pivot off each one. What works effective? And then it's more importantly, what channel do you want to reach people? LinkedIn video works for some people on LinkedIn, some people on Facebook, saying that Facebook message or a text message with a video link. So think about the channel and how you're able to reach. And don't overkill them with video, but you got to think about the channel. Then you got to think about initially, what are you trying to do with the other communication touch points?
Yeah, always have a purpose. Whatever you're doing, have a purpose. There should be something there, even stronger than a call to action. You have to have a meaning behind the message. You can't just, hey, Doug, I was just thinking about you today, and I was wondering, no, shut up. Like, right. Do it again. and get to the point, right? Have a point there. I think that's really, really good, Doug. So how do we listen more, right? Let's get back to that social watching piece, because I think that's important. Crystal says, right, people don't realize how important listening is. So talk to us about listening, Doug, and then how we integrate that into better video.
One of the things that and a great question on listening, the concept of social listening for social selling, being able to look for those trigger points. If I'm going, let's say I want to reach out to you, Phil, the first thing and I've never met you before, first thing I'd hopefully can come across is a video or two of yours, because I can actually see how you communicate. I can actually see your mannerisms and your speak and a little bit how you look. So I think using video for a research tool, I call it social watching, is just another way, like doing your sales discovery before engagement. So listening and being able to respond.
Yeah, I totally agree, right? Do the discovery and then bring it up. Right. Mention it, right? People expect that you're going to do some research. You're in sales, right? And you're not doing your research. I got to tell you, I don't want to work with you. You're not worth my time, because you're going to ask me dumb questions, things that you could have found out. So take the time, listen, mention it, bring it up, and then combo it up. Really, really great stuff there, Doug. So folks are thinking about, let's say, Doug, their first video, right? How do they get ready for that first video? Because most people, right, they think about video, but they're like, I don't know. So give me some insight in that first one.
Well, it's like the fear of doing video. You can practice doing video on your cell phone, or get your reps in just shooting video to yourself, and then have a friend or a colleague that will give you good feedback. So just get your reps in, and after a while, it will become more natural. But yeah, practice like anything else, but practice, and maybe have a peer or two look at your video. Don't overkill it, because, procrastination and too much processing before you put anything out and can harm you. But yeah, just you've got to practice, whether it's on your phone, because you can do recording on your phone or in front of your webcam, but just practice that and send a few out to your friends or colleagues before you initially do it. And then like anything else, you're going to fail fast, but fail forward and keep it moving, and you'll improve.
Yeah, really good. So Doug, do you recommend that folks have a script? Do they write bullet points? They just riff? I mean, what do you recommend there?
I think it's a comfort level. I tend to do bullet points and riff, because I want to come off authentic. You can tell when somebody's reading a script, through the whole thing. And I don't think that's very engaging, but you may have to be more comfortable for script. It's funny, because if I do a lot of production videos, and people say I'm one take guy, sometimes I'm 18 takes. Okay. But after the 18th take, I've changed my whole mindset, because I'm not really scripted. So it comes natural. Like the interview, you're going to ask me questions. I just don't have a prepared script, So, there's a fine line between scripting, but I like the idea of an outline of bullet points, being able to have that conversation. But one of the questions I asked earlier is, you have that dialogue, but when somebody responds, how are you listening to respond on top of that? Yeah. And that's got to be in the flow. There's no script for, if I said something to Susan and Susan has a comment and I'm like, okay, where's my script? This is communication 101. But
yeah, no, and I think that's a super duper point, Doug. And I think it's often missed, is that, sales calls, I want a sales script. Now, hold on. Now, absolutely script your key points, right? I mean, sure. If I'm giving my best stuff, right? If I'm following up, I want to make sure I hit that. Oh, I got Susan's name. I've got her company name for sure, right? I don't want to screw that up. I don't want to call her Stevie instead of Susie. I sound like an idiot.
Right.
But, right, you don't want to be overly scripted. And I think that's a really good point. We've got an opportunity there to really be present with whatever they respond with. So if something's responding, get off your script, get out of your head, respond with your heart, right? Like, pay attention to that. Give people some of your juice.
Yeah, and it's funny, if you think about scripting, you want to have that call to action, or not call to action, get their attention. But where scripting, I think, fails is, okay, you're saying the name right, you're introducing, you've got your starting points. But the next part of script is when they respond back. That's when the conversation's got to evolve. And that's where script number 2, I don't know how that plays out. I mean, I buy into scripting. I think it works for certain scenarios, but you want to be human. And obviously with the video component, you're putting yourself out there more. You're not hiding. I mean, I'm wearing this loud jacket just so I wanted to match the personal branding of this book today. Video is good. You got that human element. It's more engaging, all that. But at the same time, you're putting it all out there in Technicolor.
Yeah, well, I think there's two components there. I think one is the I'm sending Doug a message, and I think two is the content message, right? I'm going live on Facebook, on LinkedIn, on YouTube, right? I'm going to send out a content-rich video that's all about that. Content can often be more scripted
Sure.
than the personalized video that we use, which is important for sales professionals, right? I mean, it gives content from salespeople has to give context, right? We have to think about who we're talking to, who we're trying to work with, who we're trying to, persuade and get those ideal customers in mind. Even though I can't say, okay, it's Doug and Susie and Stevie and Christy and Johnny and those 7 people that I want to reach. I want to reach people like that. And I think that message is also an important one. I think sales professionals don't spend enough time sharing that content then that can scale. They spend way too much time just on the one-to-one. And if once a week, if they just took the time to send, 5 minutes worth of content that took them, I think they'd be a lot better off. I don't know. What do you think about that, Doug?
No, I agree. Getting somewhat of a structure in your video messaging and how often once a week. And you used a key word there. You said video content, but you said context. The context of your message and what's the initial plan, because you can content, but the content's irrelevant. And we talked earlier about bad videos. Jay Bear used this concept of random acts of video for no plan with no structure. Same thing. So, gradually work your videos in. I'm not saying overkill when I put up the keep it 100 video all the time. What I meant is using it as a communication tool from initial calls to follow-up calls to testimonials to future initiatives.
Yeah, really, really strong there, Doug. Really strong. So being that you're a video pro, let's break down some thoughts on some equipment, because I know I get asked those questions. There's a lot of stuff out there. Built-in camera on your phone. Should I go buy something else? Should I go to the studio? I mean, what do you think, Doug?
I think you got to work with what you have and then progress to more production equipment. And the reason I say that is since this whole pandemic, we're doing a lot more video calls, and I think it's only going to up the level because this isn't going away with video for virtual meetings. Like it or not, we'll hopefully we get back to more face-to-face encounters. But yeah, your cell phone comes with ear pods, and you can start out with that. I'm obviously using a shotgun microphone, and I got the funky green screen and all that because I, progressed with that. But the basics: good audio, decent mic, good lighting, secure lighting. Because if you're doing like this green screen thing, you want to make sure you don't have shadow, so you don't get the ugly green backsplash on your head or your fingers. So lights, camera, and action. Have a plan, but you can buy mics from anywhere, but just have a good audio, good USB microphone or something to plug in, or you can start out with your headset. But be aware of your surroundings. If you're doing a video on your cell phone, you're outside on a windy day and you're using the headset here or whatever, you're going to have issues. So good audio, good lighting, and you don't have to break the bank on that. But progress to something more. If you're going to be doing this a lot more, and I think if you're in the sales profession and you're doing sales video calls, I think we're going to get past the, interrogation gray room with the bad lighting. And because I'm on this call now. I mean, Zoom's we're doing StreamYard right now. There's a reason why they got all these tools for lower thirds and green screen, because we're progressing. Other tools are doing the same thing. So use them.
Yeah, totally agree. And we got a scripting comment here, right? If you really know your stuff, you shouldn't need a verbatim script. So that's where your practice comes in, folks. That's where you take some time to practice, get in front of that, and use the tools that you have. You don't have to overdo this. I think that's solid advice, Doug. So if folks are thinking, okay, I've got some good equipment. I've got a camera. I've got a microphone. I've got a message. Do I need a tripod? What else, Doug? What else as I'm progressing up the food chain here? What else do I need?
Tripod is good for image stabilization because you don't want this shaking up and down like that right now, because I'm not in San Francisco and having an earthquake. So obviously you got to think about stabilization. Not to be funny, but that's a visual element right there. That's what's called a pattern interrupt. And something that you can use in speaking and video. That's another thing. But tripods, you're not going to break the bank. Tripods, microphones, lights, camera, action, and stability. So glad you put that out there. So yeah, tripods are nice. Or if the selfie videos where you're holding them up, if you can anchor that with your hand good, then I'll be. And there's a time and place for those types of videos. you know?
Yeah. So what is the time? Like, why would I do a selfie video if I could do a better video? Why would I want that to be selfie done?
Okay. I just had a sales conversation with you, Phil, and we were talking about, I don't know, baseball coming up, right? And we just got off the call, and I've known you for a while, and I just like, I didn't have a quick talking point. I hung up the call with you, and I'm trying to work with you on business. Maybe I'm walking out by the ballpark. I said, hey, I forgot to ask Phil that. Whip out my phone with the scenery in the background by the ballparks. Hey, Phil, I was thinking about you. I forgot to mention this. I mean, it's spontaneous, but it comes off real authentic. So that's a place where you're just doing customer follow-up quickly. Now, if that's the initial time I've ever talked to you, then no, I wouldn't do that. But that keep it human, keep it real, that type of stuff you hear all the time, there is a place for that. I mean, selfies can be used spontaneously, but they're also a quick entry because you don't want to get into too much headspace about production. But your message matters. It's what you are saying and visually doing it. Random acts of videos walking down the street, hey, and not so much. Whether you're in a production studio or you're walking down the street with a selfie stick. Your message matters. Yeah,
totally. Message matters for sure. Have the right context. So I bent down to get my little selfie stick here. I've got looks like a monopod, right? But it actually will escape out here into a tripod. Real simple. Use on brand, real easy. I think I spent $18 on this. Really, really simple here. Can make it really straight up. Just pop the phone in, off you go, or I can hold it out. I think that's pretty good. But Doug, if I want to edit though, man, if I want to make sure, because I've got some content, maybe I want to set up a series of 10 messages, right? Maybe I'm an author, a speaker, a consultant. I want to set up a series of 10 content and context-rich videos.
Sure.
If I'm not a good video editor, Doug, what software would you recommend for Mac and for PC, please?
Well, Mac's got, there's several things down there, and I'm a PC guy, so I'm using, they used to have Windows Media, which is a free service. There's a ton of free ones out there. I mean, I use Sony Vegas. You got Final Cut. Adobe Premiere is intensive, but these are all industry standards. But if you I'm going to put it back at you. If you go to Google there's thousands of video editors, and you can even do it on your phone. So I'm asking the question with returning to another question. Go to Google and do your research. DaVinci Resolve's a free one right now that's got a lot of elements. I'm trying to think what the ones are that are on the Mac besides Final Cut, but there are a ton of things out there that you can do. If it just means clipping the video from the front and beginning. If not, if you're really serious about it, you'll want to maybe hire an editor.
Yeah, good.
You know what? I will follow up with a list on that because I don't think I did the question justice, but I can provide you with a thorough list of editors. I'm so much in the Adobe Premiere and Sony Vegas world that I don't even blink at anything else. But I started out on Windows Movie Maker, free. And I know there's one. I can't think of the one on the Mac right now, and it's driving me up.
iMovie.
Thank you. That's what I meant to say. And that's a start.
Yeah.
Start simple.
Yeah.
Let's start.
Yeah.
That's the problem. People they get all caught up in everything and just get out of that headspace and practice.
Yeah. I think that's
iMovie.
Advice.
That was killing me.
That's okay. So but DaVinci Resolve, I think that's a great tool for a lot of people.
Filmora is another one. It's free.
Yeah. I haven't played with Filmora. They seem to have a lot of ads. They kind of drive me crazy, to be honest with you. But so that's great. So, okay, Doug, so we covered a ton of stuff, right? Doing the first video, having a plan, don't be random. What equipment, right? Some of the basics there that we need. We talked about that. So, Doug, what else, man? As we're bringing this home, give me one or two other tips that I should have asked you about, but I didn't ask as we do videos. Better for sales and better for consultants, please.
Well, the first thing is just to recap. Think about where you can use video throughout the entire customer engagement process. And the other thing is, let's say we're doing a podcast or a video interview like this, and we've covered like 10 topics. Think about repurposing your own content into short segment videos. So I'm on your show right now, and I'll probably go back with your permission and do some short form clips because not everybody's going to watch a 40-minute interview. But think about short video cuts of a full video interview. So if you're going on a show Be ready to speak in sound bites. So repurposing content is something that we do. And also post videos. Client and customer testimonials are powerful. It's one thing for me to talk about what I do and all that. But if Phil uses my services and he gives me a great video testimonial, that adds to more customer advocacy in doing this. So testimonials, repurposing content in short form videos across multi-channels, whether it's LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. I could get into different video sizes, but repurpose. Because I don't think people are going to watch, in some cases, a whole 40-minute interview. But if you give them a taste and backlink it, you can get more value out of that, more run rate with it.
I love that. That's such great advice, Doug. Give people a taste, give them 1 or 2 minutes. And if it's really good and you do a good job of linking it, they absolutely can get more. And I'll tell you, Doug, that's one of the things that I know that I need to do more of for my video is I do a lot of these longer videos. I talk to smart people like you, and then I forget to repurpose. I forget to cut up, or I don't take the time. So Doug, talk to us a little bit here as we kind of wind this up and bring this home about the things that you do for your clients, because I know it's super valuable. You probably could save me a ton of time. So talk about that, please.
Well, when I finished up with talking about repurposing content and editing, so I've got a lot of clients. I work with mainly sales trainers and speakers and authors. If they've been interviewed on a show like this show here, being able to take that footage and chop it up into short segment video clips. So I'm an editor. I repurpose your content. Video coaching for clients to get started with video, but repurposing content is really the big thing now because we all have phones and webcams. So we already have the equipment. It's just taking it up as a remote editor. And let's face it, we're not meeting face to face right now. So the next best thing to be in there, and you hear that cliche, is video. But being able to repurpose and edit video is one of the services that I offer. And it's something that's really kind of hot right now because everybody's craving video, but there's a ton of video. Authors being able to leverage video book reviews and testimonials is one thing, but being able to capture video series from books. You've written that book. There's a lot of great content. So I can help take an author's content and put it into a video series or add additional video content to the author to keep the shelf life of their book going. So repurpose and tell that story through video without random acts of videos. That's where I come into coaching. But I would say right now, remote editing is hot for me. I do a lot of portable green screen work here in the Atlanta area. I'm not traveling as much. But if you shoot your video on a green screen, send it to me remotely through the cloud, we can do work.
Awesome. Awesome stuff, Doug. Lots of great layman's terms that we got from you today, my friend. The last thing I want to say is, how can we find you, Doug? If we want to connect more with you, if we want to spend some time with you, if we want to get to know you, where would you send people? Where would you like them to go?
The name Doug Lehman, Google it, go to LinkedIn. That's kind of one of my primary spots. Twitter at Doug Lehman. I can drop DougLehman.com. I recommend everybody, if you can get your own domain name for your branding, absolutely. And I've got a couple of websites that I'm working on right now. You know, my main thing is video messaging through emails, but storysellingmarketing.com, DougLehman.com, and virtualvideoselling.com. They all go about to the same thing. Too many websites. Just Google Doug Lehman. Connect with me on LinkedIn. I will send you a personalized video message back. And think about video as a supporting actor. Text and audio all play in the same space. I shoot you a video on LinkedIn. I'm sorry, I'm extending my time here. But I could follow up with a phone call or a text to make sure that you watch the video. Because at the end of the day, we're competing for time and attention. And video is a great way to do that if your message is loud and clear.
Awesome. Great stuff, Doug. Thanks so much for sharing that. Folks, take some time and go Google Doug Lehman. Get to know him. Go find him on LinkedIn. Find him wherever you are, and you will find some great Doug. Thanks so much, Doug. It's been really fun, and here we go.
You've just gotten the inside scoop on the Inside Sales Show, hosted by Phil Gerbyshak. For more content like this, visit InsideSalesShow.com, or to never miss an episode, subscribe on iTunes, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. Your mileage may vary. Past performance is not indicative of future results. Don't forget to tip your waitress. See you next time.